few minutes if you're not done.
Yeah, we're good. I have a feeling I know how it ends. It's good. All right. Oh, I think we have power back, so it'll be nice. I'm at my parents' house right now, so but I'm pretty sure we have power back, so yay.
Well, that's good. I have power but no air conditioner, so
What happened to your air conditioner?
well, it's broken.
Oh, it's broken.
Yeah, they have to get me a new one, and it's gonna take until Wednesday.
Oh.
And we're hitting the hottest part of the summer this week.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll be gone for 2 of the days for the 4th, but still, it's gonna suck.
It's
really bad.
It's gonna be gross coming back in.
But it's also good because they just like 2 years ago, they just like changed my filter when I had issues, and we're like, it's fine. But this year, he was just like, all the air compressors gone out in it, so you'll be getting a high tech one, like one of the new ones. And I'm like, okay, well, if I have to suffer for a week to have a good one that lasts for a long time, and we'll have like a remote on my phone and everything, I was like, cool.
Nice.
And we'll like keep it nice. So it's worth it if I can survive for like a week.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty miserable today. Like it's fine. Like right now I have like 2 fans, and as long as I don't move, it's fine. Me moving at all, and it's just miserable.
Yeah. It was really cool yesterday.
Yeah, like
And it
nice.
got kind of warm today, but there was a breeze. But like just being inside of a building without air conditioning just makes it worse. Even if it's not that bad outside, it's still worse inside. It's just weird how that works. But hopefully we're getting it back in control and stuff like that, because that was a gnarly story. It only hit us for, God, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes, and it knocked out so many transformers. It's insane. So yeah.
Mother Nature doesn't mess around, man.
No, not the fuck at all.
Mm-hmm.
No. So what did you think of the books?
Yeah. What are we doing?
What did you think?
I liked them both.
I liked them too. I did.
I mean, they're still, I'm really kind of like comparing them to previous things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're that great of books.
Mm-hmm.
But also they weren't as painful as some of the previous ones.
No, they weren't.
I was like, these, it's also funny too how my scale has been skewed. Hold on, let me look. Because I, rate all of my books on the same scale normally.
Mm-hmm.
But I have like given these books like a lot of leeway because I just hated that I was giving so many of them like 2.5 and stuff. But like Loser, I don't know. Are we doing our like normal order of stuff? Like,
Yeah, we can do normal order.
Sorry, I didn't want to just jump around. But like
Nope.
Losers, the rating I gave Losers was actually like honest to me. Like I was like, legit, I'm giving it this score. And when I look back at like past ones, I'm like, I definitely gave them like higher ratings than I meant. So now giving Losers the rating I did, I was like, this looks like it's still mediocre, but I actually felt it was that way.
Yeah.
Instead of other ones where I was like, I hate giving all of these like 2.5 stars. So if they had anything that I liked, I would give it a little bit of a higher thing.
Yeah. No, I get it. I enjoyed both of these a lot. Out of all of them, these 2 have probably been my favorite so far. They were they still really fast. Like there was like bam, 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 insta. But yes, but I liked the way the story's told. I liked the banter between the couples and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So the tropes for these were friends or fake dating.
Were both fake dating. Yeah.
Both fake dating. We did have a billionaire in one of them and like small town guy in Matchmaker. And then the first one we had friends fake dating, kind of friends to lovers. So we had kind of like a crossover with that one. Anything else need to be pointed out in these? Because I felt they were pretty spot on for that.
Yeah, no, they were great. I love Female Billionaire. I've only read 2 other books that are
really?
Yeah, it's not popular. It's usually, I mean, I've read ones where they're like both wealthy because it's like family stuff.
Mhm.
But I've only read like 2 or 3 where it's the female is like an independent billionaire. Again, not in a historical where she's like an heiress, not in a
Yeah.
like
She built it from the ground up kind of thing.
right, like
Yeah.
where in the same way where when we read like men who like built themselves up, we see that a lot, but we don't see the women do it too much. But they also didn't have her categorized as like this cold like bitch or anything.
No, I like that. She was like
Yeah.
super personable. I like it.
Yeah, like, well, for real, we'll get to it, but I had good feelings about Matchmaker. They were very positive. So
I think the Tropes nailed it. I couldn't have added any more. I liked it. So let's just go right into it. Loser, what worked?
I liked the friend group. I liked there was a lot of them, and that it was kind of like, who's gonna do this for her? Who's gonna make it work? And the one guy's like, well, I have a girlfriend. I can't fake date you, you know. And there's like,
I'm gay. There's no way I could be straight.
Yeah, and like people will figure me out. So yeah, I liked the friend group, and then yeah, I liked their banter with each other and stuff like that. So yeah, again, this still wasn't like a knock out of the park for me. And you'll see when we talk about rating, but it just also wasn't like painful to read, which I know that's a low bar, but like this one was at least readable, and I would like put it in a rec video for friends to like. I could put this in a rec video and not feel cringe about it. And out of the I think we're at over the halfway, so out of like the 14 books we've read, there's only one other book that I would recommend to anyone. So this one I was like, this was decent. So that's what worked. It's like, I like the friend group, I like the banter. That's like what I liked. Anyway.
I loved the banter between the friends. I thought that was great. I loved just the little nuances. For as short as the book is, she gave us so many little nuances between their friendship group and our hero and heroine, their friendship, that like it felt like I'd been reading for them for a while. Like I had been with them for a long time, even though I'd only been with them for like 50 pages at this point. Right. I really liked that. I thought that was awesome. And I personally liked him. I liked what he did at the end of the book and the big moment. And I was like, yes, fuck that guy. That's awesome. Party. Let's do it. I felt good about this book. This book made me feel good. It put a smile on my face. Yes, I was happy. I was happy with this one. I was content. Let's do this.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, it definitely for me is like comparing to previous books is what got there, because I still skimmed a lot while reading this one because there was so much getting to it, and then it's like over so quickly, and then yeah, I'll wait till we get to the other stuff. But, you know, I wasn't in pain. Again, I can just come back to that, everyone, is like, I wasn't in pain the way I have been in some of these.
Yeah. I had a good time with it. I saw where it was going when I saw the friendship group. I thought it was going to be the CJ friend at first, and then I found out that he was the one that had the girlfriend, and I'm like, oh, okay, so it's going to be the other guy. That's fine. Cool. And knowing how he felt about her the entire time, I'm like, oh, this is going to be that story. And I was pleasantly surprised. I was like, yes, it didn't completely bombshell it. The only thing, I guess we'll get to that. But another thing I really liked that worked was her actual family. Like, we saw growth within her actual family too, for as short as the book was. And I enjoyed it. I just genuinely had a good time. It gave me the good feels. And sometimes with these books, I'm kind of basing a lot of my shit on how I feel about it.
Right.
Like, I'm just like,
we're barely holding on at this point.
Yeah.
I may have been questioning my life choices with this before starting them, because I'm just like, yeah, and especially like making my TBR for July, and that we have 3 books to do. I'm just like, I don't know if I can do it. I don't know if I can do it. So
Alyssa is gonna scare me because it seems like one of the darker ones that's on this list.
Oh God, I hope so.
Yeah, and I'm like, okay,
let there be something dark. for
Yeah, I'm
once.
like, give me something. This better be like legit dark, not like gray. Because I'm like, I don't need gray. Because the last dark book we had wasn't fucking dark. All
No.
right. I was like, this is two separate books.
Yep.
So I'm
Yep.
excited about the other one coming up. But I thought a lot worked in Loser. I gave it 3. I gave it a solid 3. I've given other ones 3 stars, but this one, rock solid, no
That's
questions.
exactly what I was
Yeah.
saying. So yeah, I gave
Yeah.
this a 3 as well. But when I
Mhm.
was looking at, because I have my little sheet where I have all of them, because before we did it, I made my little thing, and like I've given a lot of these 3s,
Yeah.
and a couple of them they legitimately were, but a lot of them I definitely fudged it up to be like, oh, I'll give it a 3 because I've said like I'm a passive reader. Like if I finish a book, there's a good chance it gets a 3, unless
Mhm.
there's things that honestly piss me off because that's just the typical rater of me. Is I'm just
Mhm.
like, oh, I finished it. I'm not going to burn the book. I'll give it a 3. And then if there's things like less than that, then I'll go. So with this one, but again, nothing will I remember about this one. Like loser, I won't remember anything about it later.
I'm trying to remember
But
the characters' names right now, and I can't.
couldn't tell you. I remember it's Dommy because it was so annoying to me. That's her name,
Yes.
Dominique,
Dominique.
and she
Yeah.
liked Dommy
Yeah.
as the,
And
and
her
he was
last name was Lemon because
yes,
that was something I noticed.
yeah.
I
I
just, it
remembered
really,
his name honestly because I just put it in my spreadsheet yesterday.
yeah.
So that's how I remember it. That's why I had
I
it on.
don't actually remember his name.
Yeah,
So not a lot of
Wes. His
staying
name's
power,
Wes.
but none of these have really had any staying power, really.
No.
So I'm not going into these with being like, oh my god, this is gonna be the greatest thing I ever read. Like I've kind of like thrown that out the water. Now it's just like, hey, did I enjoy it? Hey, did I make it through? Hey, did it make me smile? Did it make me laugh? Did it piss me off? Did I want to throw it? Do they have stupid names?
Yeah.
We still have a stupid name, but that's fine. All right. So yeah, I thought it worked. It worked. It served its
Mm-hmm.
purpose. It served its purpose.
Yes. It. Yeah.
But we all know that there's stuff about that doesn't work. So what doesn't work?
Yeah. I have an issue with like overdoing crazy families in the books when it's like too much.
Okay.
Not that I don't understand when like you want to bring someone with you so your family stops bugging you. And like that always works for a good fake date setup. So I'm not like picking on it for that. But it also just made me roll my eyes like how stereotypical it was about like why you're needing it. Um, so that's kind of my thing is like when you need a fake date because of family reasons, I usually need it to be like a little more worked out. Otherwise, it's just like, well, you just are tired of them telling you need to be with someone. And being a person who has to do that, who is 30 and constantly has to answer that, I'm like, buck it up, baby. Because
Yeah.
being a fake boyfriend, then when you break up with the person, you will then have to answer, oh, how it didn't work out and now you're running out of time. Like it doesn't help you. You either got to stick by your singleness until you shame them into shutting the fuck up or do it. No, that's my personal
No,
stuff.
that makes total
It's
fucking
not a big
sense.
deal. But it's
It's
true.
so
I'm like,
yeah.
I'm 30, and whenever they ask, I look at them. I'm like, no, my life's fine. When I have someone, you'll know. If I was dating someone, don't you think you'd know? Like anytime they ask, I'm like, do you not think that my dad would have told you by now, or my mom? Like I will tell my mom and dad if I'm dating someone,
Mm-hmm.
and they will have told you. You guys will
Yeah.
know if I'm seeing someone, right? Anyway,
Nope. Totally get
maybe
it.
that's my own personal baggage with it. Is like I'm happy being single, and also my parents are very supportive. It's other people who they don't give me pressure, but they'll be like, well, what are you doing in Fargo? Why aren't you finding someone? And I'm like, good question. I don't know. Maybe it's because I stay at home like a gremlin and read books all the day. I don't know. But
Don't
I'm not,
feed gremlins after 10 o'clock.
I know. I'm like, but my life is just fine. So just shut the
Yep.
fuck up, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway,
No, I get it.
whatever. I don't hate the family. I was just saying, like, what doesn't work is like, for it being a trope that can work, it was also just done to the bare minimum in this book, which again, that's how this series is. So what
Yeah.
can I do?
Yeah. I the family didn't really aspect bother me because I never had to experience that. So I don't really like it. It was just a thing there. The
Mm-hmm.
part that I felt didn't work was literally this woman, I understand that she's super busy and, she doesn't see everything, but there's no way that's the part, like, the long, endearing love. I've loved you for years and you've never seen it. 10 years, and she never fucking caught on. Is she stupid?
Right.
Like, that
And
just,
all the
even in
friends
movies,
know.
it doesn't make sense to me. It's like, I get,
Yeah.
you know, there would have been some, like, no physical, yeah, I get that, but like there would have been some type of conversation with as drunk as these people have gotten, as much as they're around each other, she would have known.
Yeah.
Maybe the last one to know of the group, but she would eventually have known.
Right. I
So
mean,
it's like,
the guy in my friend group that I pined after, he knew.
mm-hmm,
And he wasn't interested, but like he knew for
yeah,
like years I pined after someone, like, because
mm-hmm,
even when you're trying really hard not to be obvious, like they know.
yeah, they
And
do.
sometimes that leads like friend groups to like split up because
Mm-hmm,
you're like, well, I can't hang out with this person. And sometimes it's just like, yeah, I'm attracted to you. And if you were ever interested, there would be something, but like you're
mm-hmm,
not. So it's fine. Like I'm not.
exactly, yeah,
The
like
times
that.
I've liked people in my friends group, like they knew.
Mm-hmm,
And it was like it was fine and it was there and nothing happened. Obviously, those people are all married to other people. I wasn't the one picked, but it also is like people know.
yeah,
So
no, it makes total sense. And that just was like, really? And when they got to the game, so if you read the back of the book, it talks about the loser of the game has to go on dates where both can be losers. I was kind of hoping there'd be more with the game, and it was an obvious who was going to be going, so why the fuck play the stupid game?
right.
Like, if you read the back of the book, the whole purpose of the guy going with her was because he lost the game.
Oh yeah.
And we already knew before the game he was even played
But
that he
nobody else
was
could
going.
go. And
Yeah.
nobody else could go because they were gay or they had
Had a girlfriend. And I'm like, so why play the game? You're just being a smartass at this point, which makes me like you as the dude, but the girl's like, why don't you just buck up and ask him? Like, you automatically already know it's got to be him. So just put your
yeah.
big girl panties on and fucking ask.
Yeah.
But
And then of
no.
course the biggest sin, closed door scenes.
Oh, fuck that noise. Fuck that.
Absolute blue balls cut scene. I was like, okay, let's get to this. This sexual tension's building, and then a fade to black scene. I was like, oh, come on. We don't. None of that noise. Come on.
Yeah, that I was like, okay, we got one. I'll give you one. Let's get a redemption one. We never got a fucking redemption one.
Mm-mm.
I was like, really?
Well, because they were drunk,
Mm-hmm.
right? They were drunk. And sometimes when there's a drunk one, I understand a fade to black because it'll be like, oh, well, one of us fell asleep or like we didn't really do it because it was, but they were like fully committed to doing it.
Yep. And they even talked about that they did it afterwards. So we know they did it.
And you didn't show us.
Nope.
So also just right, that is a tactic that happens in a lot of one night stand novels, but it happens at the beginning of a book.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have like flashes back to that night. Like that just happened in Reckless. That because it's like the author doesn't want to show you like sex right away because they want you to like build the tension, but they also need them to have had it because I mean, when it's a secret baby novel, like you need it to have happened. But then there's a time later where you flash to it. So I'm used to like drunken nights being like a fade to black, but not when we're at 80% into the book and we haven't had anything. Yeah. And then it's like, but this was your chance to have one scene in it. So the thing is too, I don't know this author at all, right? I've never heard of this one before. There are plenty of authors who just are fade to black authors. Like they just are clean authors. There's no way we could have known that ahead of time without like really looking into every author who does it. It's just also like you're in a series where there has been varying spice throughout the whole thing. And I'm just fully comfortable saying like this book could have had another half a star if you'd given me a good sexy time and didn't fade to black on me. Like
they had good banter. They could have had really good banter in a sex scene. Like you could have given us the sex scene with more banter than carnal and still had some of it, but we didn't get any of it. So yeah,
you could have even used like cleaner words. Like there's ways to do it where if you don't want to like write more of it, you make it like semi-open where you're just describing the more flowery terms for stuff or whatever. Like there was one of the books in the series that did that. that I was disappointed in because I really liked the sexual tension. But I was like, okay, well, she just chose to not write it as graphic. I can't remember if it was the firefighter one, but like the scene was still like open door, but they just used like,
I think it was Heat, wasn't it Heat? Because we only had like the one oral sex scene, and then
it might
everything
have
else
been
was
in
fade to
that one,
black.
but it wasn't one of the gay ones. I think it
Oh, okay.
was the firefighter one where like it's the bad girl or whatever. I think they just used
Oh
like
yeah, the first time they hook up. Yeah.
because there was sex scenes, but they were written in a like foggy way. So like we
Yeah.
knew everything that was happening. We were in the room, but it was like under the covers scene.
Yeah.
That's how I describe that. Like
Yeah.
the door's open, but
Right.
you're under the covers kind of, right? Which
Yeah.
is totally fine if some people don't want to be using the words cock in their book. That's their choice if they don't want to.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, that's always a like turn off if I'm not prepared for it, because to me, like I need to know when things are closed door or clean so that I can be prepared, that I'm not waiting for a sex scene. But that's
Gotcha.
a like personal term. Like I've always say that to people, like that's why words like clean or sweet, like those will be used by authors to share that like you're not going to get an open door. Like those are the hints. Like I don't know if you checked out the Stuff Your Kindle stuff yet. If you have, which by the way you should, because there's over like 100 free, but no, over 1,000 like free Kindle books right now.
Oh.
I don't know if you saw that
No, I haven't seen that yet.
on romancebookworm.com or whatever. But that's how they like delineate without saying closed door. They say this is a sweet historical romance, or they'll say this is a clean friends to lovers romance. And that's like how you know. So it's like, because there are plenty of authors that's what they're looking for, or readers that's what they're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have people on my videos who are like, can you recommend some like that are like one on your spice scale? And I'm like, honey, I'm not looking for those. So I genuinely like don't have those recs for you. You need to go look at someone else who does that. But
I have a few of those, at least. But then again, it's like my version of like what one is. So yeah, what I think is. But yeah.
Right. But anyway,
I forgot. See, I actually forgot that there was a fade to black in that. Like that's how unmemorable Loser was. But I remember the feeling it gave me. It was just a happy feeling. So
yeah.
I really enjoyed though the end when he stood up for her. I thought that was dope. A little overkill, a little bit, but we were also going with a 10-year friendship, and that's kind of what I chalked that up to, is like this wasn't so much the love speaking, this is the friend coming out in him.
Mm-hmm.
But also the fact that they've been friends for 10 years and he's never met her family.
Right. True.
I'm like, okay. And they have no idea who he is. Never talked about him at all, ever.
Well, and that was the whole thing with her being able to pretend that she was dating one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because, like, didn't one family member know, like, his name, though? Because they're like, oh, I've heard you talk about him before. It doesn't surprise me that you're dating now.
That was his ex-girlfriend that ran into him. That was the cousin of the groom.
Yeah. But there's not a single friend I have that I've had for 10 years and I haven't met their family.
Yeah.
Not a single one. I've met the family of every friend that I've had
for over a decade.
Yeah. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. That was the other thing. That was Cassandra. I think it was Cassandra. Really? Your ex-girlfriend happens to just be the cousin of the groom in the wedding that you're going to in another fucking state.
Yeah. That's
like
weird.
Not even the next state over. It's Chicago to Ohio. There's a whole fucking state in between.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
You're reaching a little bit far with that one there.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a reach. And then we throw in the actual, mom being foster and the uncle not actually being related. They're just, chosen family type thing. And the girl's just now finally realizing that after one of them is in their 40s. I'm like, secrets like that that only happens in soap operas, so secrets like that stay that quiet.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
But still gave me a good in the feels, except for the epilogue. That thing, fuck that. That epilogue was dumb. I remember that. I remember thinking the epilogue was dumb because of, like, the triple, like, fucking surprise moment of all the babies. I'm like, really? Wow. You're having a daughter have a set of twins, and then her mother is pregnant with another baby due with like 2 weeks prior to that, and you just happen to be pregnant yourself. Damn.
I mean, it happens.
It does. But
like, I have friend groups where everyone was pregnant at the same time.
Well, yeah, I understand it happens, but it was just like, really? You had to throw that one in there on top of it?
Yeah.
Like, you already gave me the crazy fucking coincidental meeting a state over. Like, you already gave me a rabbit trick. I don't need to see another one. So, all right, let's move on.
Let's keep moving. I have to go at 8:15 tonight, so let's keep going.
Okay.
I don't want to be like,
keep going. Okay.
Yay. Okay, Matchmaker.
Yeah.
Well, I gave this one 4 stars. This is my favorite one we've read.
Yes, mine too.
Without a doubt, it's my favorite one we've read. It was the most like other books, if I can say that. Like, it was the like smoothest to read. It was really quick pacing. I also did see that like this author has a lot of books because they were popping up on my Kindle after like reading this one. So yeah, I just felt like the pacing was really good. I really liked both of the characters. I liked their meet cute with this. Like I had said before, I liked that the heroine was a billionaire and she was a businesswoman, but she wasn't one of the like cold fish. Like, she was just busy. And the way people are like questioning her, I'm like, well, I'm not even that level of successful, but that's the same way that people like question you. And I can only imagine, you know, her being the creator of this like dating app, people being like, well, why haven't you used it for yourself, you know? So I thought that was all perfectly well. And I love a blue collar guy. I love a mechanic. So I already loved that about him and everything. And yeah, I loved their setup with all of it. So yeah, I actually only have really like one thing that doesn't work for me with this whole thing. So I really enjoyed it. It still is like, again, I don't think it'll be too memorable besides her being the female billionaire. But yeah, I liked the build up with them. I liked multiple steamy scenes in this one, and they were like good. There was a variety of scenes in this one. There was cute dates that they went on. And also I think that they had a really good like build from like, this is a deal and then drifting over into dating. Like there wasn't a lot of miscommunication going on between that. I really enjoyed that. Like, when things were progressing, they like addressed it and were like, okay, let's make this be more. Like, why we'd be foolish if we like didn't see if it was more. Well, we're going to be pretending to date. Let's see. So I really like that, because that's the thing in fake dating, that there's usually that awkward, like, oh, well, they think it's just a deal, so I can't make a move on them. And it could be bad. And I feel like that was a smooth transition in this one.
Oh yeah, definitely. I completely agree with that.
Yeah. So for me, again, I have really just one thing that doesn't work, and I'll say that I really enjoyed everything in this
one. There you go. Yeah, I had a good time with this one. I really enjoyed him. I enjoyed like kind of how real he was. Like I could see this guy. I could definitely see this guy. I'm, you know, being from the Midwest, that this guy exists. You know, this is a guy that we all know. And I'm just like, I could see this. The bar scenes, the joking, the banter, everything. I'm like, this is a real dude. I like this guy. I like him. And I like, my favorite part of this book so far actually was really kind of funny. It had something to do with the fake dating lying. He's like, look, I don't want to lie to you, so I'm telling you that I accidentally told my friends how we actually met. And then she straight up asks him, are you okay with this? Because we are lying to all these people. And he's like, as long as we're honest with each other, I'm okay with it, because this is acting then. Like, you know, this is just a job on the outside. But between us, we're honest with each other about how we're feeling. And it stayed the course the entirety of the book.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that, because I'm not big on lying. And so like fake dating and fake fiancés, like to have the acknowledgement of that conversation, that lying aspect revealed between the characters and talked about, not at length, but it was talked about. Really fucking enjoyed that. I was like, yes. And I loved all the pet names. Loved it.
And there was nothing hidden between the two of them.
Yeah.
And then what also I liked was how like the third act conflict worked, because I mean, so that also has to do with what I didn't like about it, but it wasn't the conflict, how it like played out, I liked, because they didn't like blame each other for what happens. They just like deal with it. But I will get into what I don't like whenever we switch over.
Yep, no,
But
that's fine.
I liked how it was like, dealt with.
Yep.
So I was like, oh, okay. Because when the third act, when the betrayal happens, I was like, oh, great. She's gonna get all pissy at him, and they're gonna like break up and like ruin everything. But then we like skipped right past that to her being like, nope, we're dealing with it. And
Yep.
I was like, oh wow. Like if this was just a little bit of like a longer book, like this could have been like a 5-star book for me. Like
Really? That's awesome.
Like it doesn't have the full substance I would want out of it just for it being only 200 pages. But there was a really great potential in this. And again, we're like kind of skipping ahead. Like I will read more books by this author.
Yeah.
I'll say right now. I have not said that about anyone else.
Of them.
I will read more books by Shel Sloan. Absolutely. She got me in. Like with this book, I was like, you have wonderful potential with this. So
let's see what happens.
Yeah. I just wanted it a bit fleshed out more because some things still felt like rushed through this. Like, I don't know if you saw, because, you know, I do still skim a little bit. I read this all today. I don't know how much of that year they actually were doing this. Like, how long was this?
I only think it was about like a couple of months.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure how long it was going. I know they said, let's do it 6 months to a year. But then I wasn't sure how quickly stuff was going. So, like, if this had like another, like, 50, 60 pages of like different events that they done together and like more of them getting to know each other so that like by the end when they like do the test again, they actually know everything. This could have been like a 5-star book for me.
Really?
With more fleshed out. But this is still, again, like I will recommend this one. Even though I don't think it's super memorable for it. It has enough good things that like I'll recommend this one for like a female billionaire or for fake dating because it doesn't have huge red flags that I hate. Except again, I keep saying except. So whenever we're ready for what didn't work, I'll tell you.
No, it's fine. I enjoyed it. I agree with you 100% on a lot of that. I would definitely pick this author up again, based off of this one. I have a few gripes, but for the most part, I just really liked their relationship and I liked the honesty. That was really, really nice to see. I don't know why, but I just really was feeling that in this book, and that's what stuck with me the most. Now I have read another female billionaire book before, but the guy was a billionaire as well, and I really enjoyed that trope then. And because actually Emma DeMoss was actually nominated for my best heroine of 2022, and she was the female billionaire because I thought she was a badass, and I liked this one's badassery moments. Did I think she kind of sunk a little bit? Like, where I guess we'll just get into it because this is the main thing that didn't work for me. Was she was very a control freak. There's throughout the book they're talking about how big of a control freak she is, but there were 2 instances that if you were a true control freak, you would not have acted like that. She became this meek little mouse person, and he kind of overshone that. So I don't really think she was that big of a control freak as much as they say she was. And I think she was just that was just thrown on her because female CEO, billionaire, blah, blah, blah. That was just an attribute they gave her, but it wasn't really backed up. And so that was kind of irritating. But I liked him. I liked him a lot. I liked the fact that he was ready to throw down to anybody that got in her face, including her brother, which I thought was dope. I thought that scene was awesome.
Yeah.
And he was such a gentleman. He opened doors.
He's very good.
And used cars. Okay. Great.
So here's mine. I hate Evil X. I despise it. Particularly when it's ex fuck buddy. Not even like long term. I am really, really sick of that trope. I wish it would die. In fact, this is a thing. I think you've only read like 2 of them so far, but this is something that chronically Elsie Silver needs to knock the fuck off doing because she's now had it 3 books in a row. And I only noticed it when someone pointed it out, but I hate Evil X And I just realized the last 3 books of hers I read, she has evil ex who tries to fuck people up. And I'm like, you got to find a different conflict. Like, I know when you don't want to have conflict in between the couple, that it can be easy to have it like just come from someone who wants to cause trouble. But I didn't believe, like, this person who is his fuck buddy, who I know fuck buddies can get attached. I know that it happens, but we hardly knew anything about this girl. And he says no, and she feels so rejected that she's ready to completely like ruin everything.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like that trope at all. I don't like when women are demeaned to that they be so upset about not like still being with the person that they would want to destroy them. I don't like it. And so I much would have preferred if for her being as like famous as she was, that it was some other way that it got ruined, right? I don't know. I just don't like that women have to be reduced to being petty and that we have to make one woman a villain so that the new one can shine. So that is kind of like what spoiled this a little bit, because I was as soon as they had her be sour about him saying no, I'm like sleeping, or like I'm not going to be available to fuck you anymore. She was like, well, you'll come crawling back. And I was like, oh, right. Well, she's going to be a problem later. And then she was. So not a huge fan of that. And that was like my main gripe. But like I said, for me, I liked that they never blamed each other for her overhearing that, because I was sure that the heroine was going to be like, why couldn't you keep your mouth shut? You were blabbing to your friends in a public place. You know, like I was sure that she was going to make it a big deal and he'd have to grovel. But instead, they like jump ahead to her like dealing with it, you know, and I liked that. No, so it ended up being good, but I didn't like that it came from that girl, because I could see it from the first time we met her. I was like, oh, she's going to be the reason.
I didn't see her being the reason until they were in the diner, and I was like, oh, I just thought she was going to be a pain in the ass, which I can usually handle a pain in the ass, but I didn't realize she was going to be the reason until the diner. I'm like, oh, damn it. And when but here's my gripe about that scene.
How did she know who to go to? That's the thing too, is it was like, oh, she was paying such close attention. She knew exactly who to go to try to like fuck it up. Like that's the thing for me. I was like, okay.
The thing with me was when you have, they made a point to say that they had the really sharp dressed guy come in and sit right behind him, and that's the assistant. I was like, this is where you were stupid. Like, this is where you were stupid. You literally, the author wrote, well, of course you're going to notice somebody like that. They're not normally from around here. You are dating a billionaire.
Yeah.
And there's only like 2 people that dress like that in this entire town, and you are fucking one of them. And this one, you have no idea. And you know she has a gripe with a male other dating app creator who you don't know what he looks like. That's where the brain, I was like, I guess it kind of worked for his character because he wasn't really thinking, and he never said that he was very smart to begin with. But I was like, And then on top of that, you're talking around your ex-girlfriend, and she was there. He knew she was there. It's like, that was where I was like, I could see why she would have gotten pissed, and I almost didn't understand why she didn't get pissed. Because it was obvious that there was 2 factions there. That moment, I get. But when you're in the thick of it and you're talking to your friends, you don't really fucking worry about what people are who are really around you. So it was like, author, choose to make it obvious, which you did, and it didn't really work for the character setup that you put the scenario in, or make it completely out of the blue. They had no idea they were there, no acknowledgement, and then we get a flashback saying, yeah, I was there. I was in the booth behind you, or something like that. You know, you just weren't paying attention. I would have much preferred that, but it's fine. I still had a good time with it. It definitely, I like the sex in that one a lot.
Yeah, it was good. It was really good.
For connections, I only saw one, and I don't really think it was actually intentional, but it was something that I wanted to point out. So the girls, it was something about lemons. Because the girls in the first book, her last name was Lemon, and she had a company called Making Lemonade. I think something like that, Making Lemonade. And the other girl in the matchmaker talked about her first business that she ever created, which was making a lemonade stand. And I just was like, oh, there's your like one connection. It's not probably a connection, but it stuck out to me because it was just so convenient, you know?
Yeah.
So I was the only connection I got.
Yeah.
But Smut Level, nah.
Yeah.
Total polar opposites on this one.
Right.
We had polar opposite Smut Levels on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. The first one technically fits into my, like, there was barely a puff of mine. So this one gets a puff, which not the good kind of puff either. It was very sad.
Yep.
And this one got technically like a 2.5 to a 3 for me, which was good, which again is about as high as any of them have been. And at least this one was like good quality stuff. Like it was sweet, a little bit sassy,
a little bit dominant.
A little bit dominant. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
A little bit in there. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That was the only thing about the smut that kind of threw me. Is this guy is a playboy, like literally, he's introduced as a playboy, messes around a bunch of girls type thing. Okay, he knows his way around all that crap, right? But when he gets to her, he's super like romantic and mushy. He's not.
Yeah.
I mean, he's still like the dominant kind of guy, but it's every single time there's like a level of romance. It was never just like straight king, and it was started off to be that way and then turned into something else, which I liked, but at the same time I was like,
I mean, he fucks her over the back of the car.
I know, that was awesome.
Like,
I personally like that scene.
I mean, it shows that he like loves her though.
Yeah.
You know, because he's not just looking out for himself, which is usually what's happening when you're hooking up. So, yeah, it was really cute.
I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the, like, are you not wearing any panties? I was like, fuck yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Like that scene. Thank you. Like it a lot. We have a lot of highs, a lot of comments I haven't seen.
Oh, there's just all saying hello.
Hello.
That's me.
Oh, that's
I was saying hi to her.
Okay. Hello. Hello, everybody. Yep.
Yeah.
No, the smut was good for me. I gave the first one a puff because of the fade to black. That was it. And then this one, I don't think I tallied it yet because I literally just finished it. So I don't think I've actually sat down and tallied it, but it's probably going to be like a 2. Yeah. What I'm feeling.
That's good.
I liked it.
What else did we have?
Authors, which I think we already said that we're going to. We both agree that the second author is something we pick up again.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely will.
Yep. Final thoughts and takeaways. That's the next. That's what we got for this guy. We're flying through this one today, guys.
Yeah. Jen's got to pop out. It wasn't painful. That's my final thought. These weren't painful. I would find ways to recommend both of them. Still probably won't remember them too well, but they weren't too painful. So
are these our first friends to lovers or fake datings?
I think there was one other one.
Okay.
I think. I can't remember, but maybe.
I had a good time. I did. I enjoyed these. I am going to have some fun talking about them in my weekly wrap up for sure. Fleshing them more out. I'm happy with these. I'm happy with these. I feel like they can only go up from here, hopefully.
Right. We hope so.
Yeah, let's hope so. So the next...
Yeah, but they can definitely be worse though. So let's get too cocky about that.
Yeah, let's not hope for that. But yes, they could be worse.
In July.
Yes.
We now have 3 books.
Yeah.
So
we have
Illicit Education, which by the way was available on NetGalley, which I should have grabbed it there because it was free.
Oh, really?
Yeah. NetGalley, for the re-release, she put it on NetGalley for arcs of it. So it might still be there. I don't know if you use NetGalley.
I've never used NetGalley before.
Okay. Well, that's where we can get some arcs. But anyone watching, if you don't want to use a space on your KU for it, it's available for one of the like instant downloads on NetGalley to review it. So, and that one is supposed to be the student teacher one.
Yes, I believe that is correct.
A little bit of
Oh, it's
taboo.
office romance BDSM.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which one? Okay,
So
that was
the
last
other
one.
one is Nookie by Lane Martin, which is Small Town Second Chance. Usually a good combo for me. And Official by Georgia Kaufman. Brother's Best Friend Fake Dating.
All right. So
Yeah.
that is our lineup for
Yep.
next
For July.
for July, which
Yep.
starts tomorrow. So
Yep. I gotta do my TBR now.
yeah,
We haven't had power, so I've been like behind on stuff. Like I've got some stuff that I gotta do tonight when I get home.
that's
So
okay. But yeah, well, this was a good one. It was
yeah,
fun. This was good. We've
it was good.
definitely had worse ones.
How sad is it though that we finally get two good books and we can't talk very long about them?
I know. Well, I also don't have that much more to say. I usually have
Yeah.
more to say about books that I don't like than
Mm-hmm.
I do, because I'm just like,
Yep.
it was fine. I don't want to nitpick anything.
Mm-hmm.
I
Feel
also
good.
don't want to oversell it. Oh, hey Bex, you hopped in right when I have to go, but Bex says hi. These were
All
good
right.
ones, Becky. I wish you'd read these.
I think she's going for July. I think she's gonna try for July
Okay.
to read at least one of them. So
Well, these ones were actually cute. So,
yep.
in my opinion, anyway, we've
Yep.
had different opinions about most of them, but
That's all right.
it's good stuff. But okay, well, I gotta hop out.
Yep.
But thanks, everybody.
See ya.
Listening.
Bye guys.
Bye, friends.